I'm Matthew. I work at the Women's and Children's Hospital in the store. I unload all the stock and bring the stock to the patients upstairs. I just really enjoy my job. I enjoy the people I'm working with. It's a really fun environment to work. Most people think of a hospital as just having gloves and syringes, but we have over 2,000 lines in the store. We're an important part of the hospital. We help the patients get well and for them to go home to their families.
She is Australia's first recipient of the CAR T treatment that saved her life. He is a Seattle-based research scientist who helped develop the science behind CAR T. But when Lauren and Dr. Mike Jensen met recently in Adelaide, they found they shared not only the bond built around the CAR T treatment, but also the same hopes for a future without cancer.
I was the first person in Australia and outside of America to have the CAR T cell treatment. It's good to know that there are people working out there are organisations supporting these scientists, these researchers in their labs who are doing such an amazing job so that more people can be like me and be better and experience what life has to offer. What upsets me is that it happens to so many other young people like myself. And what's to say there's not someone out there at the moment who has dreams and ambitions like I do, that's going through the exact same thing, and it's not something you can control. We don't know what causes it yet. Therefore, it's just luck, it's fate that we've been handed this hand. And I'm so extremely lucky that, you know, I am on the other side now and I am able to experience life and to choose the life I want to live. Meeting Dr. Jensen, I don't know. I'm really excited. In a way, I was sort of thinking, oh, do I get him a present? Because he sort of saved my life.
Hello.
Are you Lauren?
I am.
Oh,
You're
it's
Dr.
great to meet
Jensen.
you. Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
you.
It's so nice to meet you.
So lovely to meet you.
I'm just thrilled to be able to speak to him and I guess get to know him and his passion.
Don't actually know how to comprehend this moment because you often don't see the people that are behind the scenes.
I just want to say that people like you are very special people because of your bravery and your parents' bravery to agree to be on a clinical trial. What you're contributing to all the future children that will hopefully benefit from this therapy is really remarkable. And so,
Thank
you know,
you.
I view you as a pioneer in this new kind of space expedition into cancer cures.
Well,
for
I like
kids.
the sound of that.
Yeah.
I'm still here 12 months on. So
That's lovely.
It's wonderful to know that there's people elsewhere in the world who care enough to make a real difference. I mean, I've been through all the treatments since, you know, I was age
Years
7.
and years,
so
right?
I've seen the improvements the treatments have made, and this compares to none of them because it was so simple and so easy compared to everything else I've been through. That's just given me such hope for the future that perhaps there will be a time where, you know, cancer is what they say, just like a zodiac sign instead of an actual illness, and you're the one, you and your team are the ones that are instigating this, and it's incredible. So on behalf of myself and I guess all other cancer patients and survivors out there, thank you.
What is hard is all the children that didn't benefit from this because we couldn't have gone faster. And I think a lot about that as we're trying to develop CAR T cells for pediatric brain tumors and neuroblastoma and sarcomas.
The biggest one out there in children.
So we have so much work to do, and I guess you know better than anyone else how time is of the essence, right?
Yes.
We can't take our time.
You might have heard of a thing called survivor's guilt, where
Yeah.
you're surviving because you've been able to receive this treatment that's worked. However, you have friends that you've met along the way that unfortunately there is nothing for them yet. And I understand where you're coming from in that respect.
What I think about a lot are all the humans, all the children that are going to be alive that otherwise wouldn't have been, and what are these amazing people going to give to our society?
It's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I'd like to.
I'm so grateful that I've got this second chance.
Yeah. I bet you probably wake up in the morning and things go through your mind about how you want to make the most of.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so determined now. That's for sure.
Wonderful.
Out of a pretty horrible experience,
Yep.
there has been a lot of good from it as well.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, but wouldn't be able to experience that good if I still wasn't here. So.
Well, when I go home, then I'm going to think about a special connection with a lovely young lady in Australia that in some way I hope what I've been working on has become part of you. That's something that I will keep with me, and I'll use that to inspire me when the experiment doesn't go well in the laboratory to
Please keep
try
working
again.
at it. Yeah. And teach the new generation to keep working at it, because it will happen. And so yeah, if we can all just, I guess, come together as a bit of a team and support each other, then there is that chance that one day it will just be history, or it will be like fighting off a cold.
Yeah.
You'll just have to rest in bed for
Yeah.
a day or two.
Hi Blyga, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks.
Thank you for joining us today. So tell us about this amazing event that you have planned to raise funds for the TeamKids Easter Appeal.
I'm planning a shopping trip to Melbourne in the June weekend of the 24th and 25th, and we fly over to Melbourne. We'll have a bus waiting for us in Melbourne, and the bus will take us to the Intercontinental. We'll leave our bags there, and then everyone can go off shopping. And at about 5 o'clock, we'll have a private shopping event in Maya, where Maya will exclusively have the store for us for our shopping event. And then we'll go shopping mad in Maya. Sunday morning, we'll make our way to the South Wharf and get some bargains there. So it's going to be an intense weekend of shopping.
Yeah, that sounds like an intense week of shopping. So I believe that your niece actually inspired you to do this.
Yes. My niece, at the age of 13, was diagnosed with brain cancer. It was the first time our family experienced cancer. It was a big shock, and she spent 6 months in hospital. Spending that time in the hospital with her, going in and visiting her, that made me realise what the Women's and Children's do for children that are suffering. She actually spent Christmas at the hospital. For the first time ever, we went into the hospital on Christmas Day, and it was just amazing what the hospital did for my niece and for all other children. They organised all these toys to be given out on Christmas Day to these children. They gave out Santa hats. It was just amazing. They made them feel like it was really special. I asked one of the staff that day, I said, where did you get these toys from? And one of the staff said to me, we have been donated these toys by people that donate to us. And it was that day on that I decided I wanted to do something for the Women's and Children's Hospital. So from then on, I started donating toys. And that's where my shopping comes in. I love shopping. So what I would do throughout the year, I would go around looking for toys, and when I find them, I would collect them up. And then at the end of November, I would go into the Women's and Children's, and I would go in, my car would be chock-a-block full. Sometimes I couldn't even fit it in my car. And I would go in and donate these massive bags of toys to the hospital. So I knew that I'd be putting a smile on a child's face on Christmas Day.
So how will the funds actually be used?
The funds will be used for TeamKids, and one of their projects they're doing is the Beach House project for seriously ill children.
And how much are you aiming to raise?
I'm looking at raising $25,000 with my shopping trip. The $25,000 will go towards the Beach House project.
And I understand you've already raised quite a bit of those funds.
I've raised 11,500,
Wow, that's a lot. Very impressive.
so I'm almost halfway there. I've been going around to friends and family and people that have already booked and asking them to help donate to the cause.
So what do your friends and family think about this event?
My friends and family think it's wonderful. They think it's fantastic that it's going to be going to TeamKids. My husband thought I was mad. He's since jumped on board.
Well, I think it's a fantastic event too. So thank you so much for raising funds for the TeamKids Easter Appeal. And thank you for your time.
Thank
so,
you.
Thank you.
I'm Jordan Lambopoulos and I have Crohn's disease. For the past 10 years, I've been in and out of hospital, racked by pain. I've had multiple surgeries and cried myself to sleep more times than I want to remember. The Women's and Children's Hospital give whatever they possibly can to make a difference. Now I have a chance to give back, so please support the TeamKids Easter Appeal.
We're back for the second heat in today's TeamKids Easter Appeal Fire Truck Pool. Now it's the South Australian firefighters and the Australian Air Force battling it out here at the Clipsal 500 track. The first heat winners were the police, who beat out the Army in a tight competition. Normally partners in protecting the community, the fireys in the Air Force have become fierce rivals in a battle to win Heat 2 and go on to the final race.
I'm Captain Greg Weller. I'm the senior ADF officer at of RAF Edinburgh. My son Josh has several conditions. So he has cystic fibrosis, he has Chiari malformation and hydrocephalus, which has a shunt on the brain. And so he spent quite a lot of time in the hospital.
We're here to show that we can help pull a fire truck just like the boys can. And it's great to see that we can all get together and join in and support such a good community event. Go Fire!
We're here from the Australian Professional Firefighters Foundation, which is made up of firefighters from the MFS and also the airport fireys. We're here today to do our best with the fire truck pool. Hopefully we're going to beat the police, who we might have lost to last year. The Firefighters Foundation, we go to the Women's and Kids Hospital on Saturdays and we visit the kids in the Newland ward especially, which is the Burns and Trauma ward. We go and just brighten their day, bring them little gifts and things like that. So yeah, it's nice for us to be able to have that connection with the hospital. We're here to have fun and also, raise money for the TeamKids Easter Appeal.
Hi teams, welcome to Heat 2 of the TeamKids Easter Appeal Fire Engine Pool. When I blow the horn, take up the slack and let's get going.
And it's the firefighters who win the second heat, with the Air Force not far behind.
We decided just to pull as hard as we can and walk. Not sure if that worked too much because the fire still beat us. Pulling planes next time I think it'd be the way to go.
The guys and girls brought it home. The Air Force did a great job. Really good competitors there, but looks like it's a final between the police and the Firefighters Foundation, so we're really excited about that.
Hi Jill, how are you today?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. So what is your involvement at TeamKids?
So I'm the Arts in Health Coordinator for TeamKids and I do all of my work inside the hospital, trying to work on a program that helps make the hospital look a bit better by brightening up the walls and making the time a bit more fun for children.
Part of your work involves play therapy. What is it and why is it so important?
So inside the hospital there are a number of play therapists who work directly with the children in really trying to distract them and entertain them and keeping them having fun while they're having their treatment. The foundation has funded a number of play therapy positions to really try and enhance that having fun for children in the hospital.
You receive a lot of toys throughout the year. How do you use them?
We love getting toys in the hospital. It's always so much fun to have toys. And we have things like this. So what happens is that we might have a little simple toy given to us like this. But when you've got a couple of play therapists working on them, then what happens is we end up having these sorts of wonderful creations made. So when you get a donation from a wonderful company and you give it to a play therapist and they can work with the children, you can actually have these exciting things created. And we had the little children as well, also using these to create stories. So as well as dressing them up and having mice makeovers, we also had them becoming authors and writing stories about their mice and taking pictures of them around the hospital or around their home and different things like that. So talking about the adventures that the mice went on.
Oh, they look fantastic. Why is it so important to bring art into the hospital?
So one of the things that Arts Helps does is to actually help relax and calm people. So one of the areas that we've worked on more recently was in the entrance to the paediatric intensive care area. So that's an area where it's the really critical things are happening for your child. So something really quite full on has happened. There's been a trauma accident or something quite full on. And what's been able to happen is that when you were standing there waiting to go in, there was a whole bunch of busy pictures on the wall. And these were actually quite concerning for people. So we've been able to take those away and actually then create a beautiful mural on the wall using a wonderful artwork that then means that while you're standing waiting to go into this area, you can actually carefully look at the work, and it helps even just by looking at the work calm you down and become calmer, just reduces a bit of that anxiety and stress levels while you're actually there, actually dealing with some tough stuff in the hospital.
Yeah, it's very important to remain calm in hospital. What kind of art projects have you and TeamKids brought into the hospital?
We love being able to do projects in the hospital, and we always do great things with Hospital School. We run Book Week and we have all kinds of fun dress-ups and crazy things. But we also have outside artists that have come along and do work with us. So we've got a wonderful artist at the moment that's a cartoonist. And she's a young girl, and so we've got a whole bunch of her cartoons up on display in the gallery. But she's going to be coming in and doing some cartoon workshops with patients. So it's great to be able to take some of those skills and activities that people do out in the community and bring those into the hospital environment for kids.
How does art connect the hospital and the community?
So we have a lot of artists that we get in to have exhibitions, and we have a lot of artist groups that we work with. Plus we're also involved in a whole bunch of the festival and events that happen. So we get involved in the Fringe Festival and the Sala Festival. We've had the Music Festival bring in their musicians and play. So we've had all kinds of wonderful things like that where we bring the community into the hospital.
You also involve patients in art.
So many of the patients work with the play therapists to create their own exhibitions. So in some of the ward areas, the children will make artworks part of their play and they'll take them home. But other times they'll work on projects that we can then display in the hospital. So that's part of that thing of where you might put your kids' artwork on the fridge at home. Well, this is their kind of environment and their fridge. So we put that artwork up on the walls and have it around in the wards so that then they can feel like they own some of the hospital spaces as well.
What led you personally to this work?
I was a patient in hospital as a little baby and a little child, and so it's always been a strong passion for me to actually look at the role that children have inside a hospital. So my focus really, I come from both arts worlds and school worlds, and my focus is really about how we can make the place feel really child friendly and child centred, and actually sort of so that the child has a voice in what things they would like to have happen in and around the hospital.
What would you like to see happen in the future at the Women's and Children's Hospital?
Well, we're doing lots of plotting and planning about what a great hospital could look like. TeamKids has really increased the amount of funding that we've been putting into play therapy, and we really want to ramp that up some more, and to also get more ideas from children and from parents and families about what sort of things they would like to see happen in the hospital, and then here at TeamKids we help make that happen.
Wow, the future of the hospital sounds so amazing. Thank you so much for your time today, Jill.
Thank you.
Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make my bath time so much fun.
Hi, I'm Marnie and I work in paediatric outpatients here at the Women's and Children's Hospital. My job is to welcome the patients when they come in for their outpatient appointments. So we were lucky enough last year to have a play therapist come work with us. Her name is Jo. She's done a wonderful job just making the outpatient department more fun. I started playing ukulele about 3 years ago and decided to bring it into the hospital. Our clan doctors play ukulele, so I was inspired by them. I find that if the clinics do get quite stressful and people are waiting a really long time, that it helps to calm kids down, and it's not part of my job, but I can't really work without fun, so I'm lucky that I work where I do in the outpatient department, and I'm lucky that my ukulele playing has been so well accepted. We'd really like to thank TeamKids for that extra funding for our play therapist, and we're hoping that that continue well into the future.
My family's dream holiday beach house. When I was 4 and my sister was 8, she got very sick and was taken to hospital. She had to stay there for a long time, and that made Mum and Dad very sad. I missed my sister when I wanted to play with her, but I got to visit her in hospital, and she told me the nurses were very nice and very gentle when they put the tubes in, but she was scared and I was scared for her too. One day the doctor said something to my mum and dad and they started to cry. Later they told me my sister was sick with cancer. So my sister and I made a drawing of some flowers and we gave it to them and they hugged us. When my sister came home she was still sick and looked different with no hair. But she pulled a face at me and we all laughed together. Sometimes I woke up at night when I heard my sister crying. Mum and Dad had to take care of her all night long. One day my mum said she had a dream about a place where we could all go and have a holiday together and be happy. So my sister and I drew a house near a park and a playground and a beach, and it made Mum and Dad smile. I'm 8 years old and all grown up now. Mum says my sister lives with the angels now. But I look at our drawing and it feels like she's still here with me, playing and laughing at our dream holiday beach house.
South Australian company, Workspace, started business in 1911. Today, it's a valuable partner in one of TeamKids' most important projects, the beach house. Tara finds out more about how this world leader in design and manufacture is helping out on the project.
Hi Tom, how are you today?
Good, thanks Tara, how are you going?
Good, thank you. So can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about Workspace and the kind of products that you make?
Yeah, so I'm Tom Clark. I'm the General Manager of Sales and Marketing for Workspace Commercial Furniture. We're Australia's largest and oldest diversified commercial furniture manufacturer based right here in South Australia. So we started our operations here in South Australia in 1911 and we make commercial furniture now across the country and internationally for any commercial environment. Aged care, healthcare, hospitals, schools, offices, you name it, we do it.
How does community support fit in with your business and what does it mean to your staff?
Community support's vital for our business. We've been here, based in South Australia, for 106 years. Giving back to the community is a fundamental pillar of what we do. It's important that we give back to a variety of community organisations, and certainly the TeamKids appeal was something that we wanted to get into the minute we heard about it. I think, the Women's and Children's Hospital and the appeal itself touches all South Australians. I certainly know that as a father of 2 young boys, I've called on the Women's and Children's Hospital many times, but also we've employed hundreds, if not thousands of people over our 106-year history, and all of those people have had experiences with the hospital. It was something that when we went to our staff, they were very quickly on board and very quick to support our initiatives.
So what exactly are you doing for the TeamKids Easter Appeal?
So Workspace is proudly donating our expertise for manufacture, supply and install of all of the furniture requirements for the Beach House project. So one of the reasons that we wanted to jump on board is because of our skill set. One of our math strengths is that we can mass customise furniture for any environment. So when we heard about the Beach House project, we knew that there was a need for furniture that wasn't standard. We'd be able to work with the TeamKids project managers, the architects and the builders and product suppliers to design bespoke furniture to meet the needs of the users that are going to be enjoying the beach house.
Do you share what you're doing with TeamKids to your customers and associates?
Absolutely, and we've already started our social media profiling to make sure that we can not only support the manufacture of the furniture for this fantastic project at the beach house, but to actually share the story along the journey. We want all of our supporters, staff, clients and stakeholders to know the commitment that we've given to this project, and hopefully they can opt in as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what message would you like to convey to the audience today?
It's really important for all of the audience and the viewers to make sure they realise they can be involved. You know, certainly for us, we have an ability to make the bespoke furniture that's needed for this environment. However, everyone contribute in their own small way, whether it's a small donation or they believe that they've got goods and services that they can go to TeamKids and actually offer up to make sure that this project is a fantastic success.
Well, Tom, as a former patient at the Women's and Children's Hospital, the support that you're giving to TeamKids is incredibly appreciated. So thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure.
TeamKids has a new CEO, Jane Scotcher, and she joined Tara for a chat about the charity and its part in the tradition of community support for the hospital.
Hi Jane, and welcome to your first TeamKids Easter Appeal as the new CEO.
Hi Tara.
What is your first priority? And how will you work with your team to achieve that?
Well, I think today is a very big priority for us because today is an opportunity for us to raise money to make a real difference for the Women's and Children's Hospital. I can actually see us building such a strong connection with the hospital to be totally aligned with what their direction is within the future.
We've heard a lot about CAR-T. And you're funding the research program for that?
That is correct. We have in fact been supporting the CAR-T research done by Simon Barry, and it's getting to be very exciting with findings that have come out of that research. And we're wanting South Australia and Simon and his team to be acknowledged for the wonderful work that could really change the future for sick children here in South Australia.
Hi, I'm Carl Aiken. I lead the chaplaincy team here at the Women's and Children's Hospital. This is the sacred space. It's a multi-faith space. It's a place that's welcoming, it's a place that's inclusive, and it's here for people to spend that quiet moment when they're reflecting on maybe a sick child, maybe celebrating a significant event like a birth. The sacred space is here for everybody in our community. We live in a very multi-faith, multicultural community with people from all walks of life and all countries. People come into this hospital from a whole range of backgrounds, both in terms of faith or no faith, and the space has been designed so that each of them in their own way can feel comfortable and make it their own for the time they need it. When I come to work, I see kids with such amazing courage, families who show so much love and care for their kids, and staff who bring so much compassion to their work. I'd encourage you to support the TeamKids Easter Appeal. They do great work for the hospital. They buy lots of equipment, provide lots of resources that are significant for families. One of those resources is this very sacred space. TeamKids were the ones who were able to source the funding to provide this space so that families could have those quiet moments, be refreshed and renewed, or celebrate the life of a precious child in a way that's just good for them. So please support TeamKids. They do great work in our community.
I have cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a disease which affects the lungs and digestive system. Lucky for myself, I've been able to maintain my health and sort of, live into adulthood, which is, quite an achievement. About 2 years ago, I always thought that I wanted to do a marathon, and I had the idea to sort of do it as a fundraiser. So last year I did the Adelaide Marathon. It's 42 kilometres, so a lot of training went into that. It was during winter, so there was a few challenges there for myself, getting out in the cold. I don't often do too much because I get quite sick, but I sort of tried to put that aside this year and really run for a lot of the CF patients who can't, because they're not quite as healthy as what I am, so I'm quite lucky in that sense. So I really wanted to get out there and do something for the CF community. With the run, thank you to the generosity of everyone, I was able to raise almost $25,000, and that was just through the support of family, friends, community, strangers, people that were touched, I guess, by my story and wanted to help. And all funds go directly towards finding a cure, so that enables them to do a lot more research, a lot more lab time, and I think at the end of the day that's what everyone wants, a cure, so I was very happy that the money went there. When I was starting my running, I was getting a lot of parents with children with CF, people with CF messaging me just saying, how inspirational it is for them, and I didn't realise at the time, but afterwards, looking back, touching so many people, it's made me really want to show everyone that even though you do have a disease, it's not a limitation, and we can do as many things as everyone else. After the success of my last marathon, I really want to tackle another one, and I've sort of decided that maybe overseas, so the New York Marathon. So to prepare myself, I've wrote myself up sort of a 3-month plan. I'm going to try and tackle the Barossa half marathon first, and then obviously the New York Marathon is in November, but I really want to keep raising as much money as possible, because some people with CF don't have time. We just need as much funds being pumped into research, being pumped into finding a cure. As soon as a cure is found, that's when everyone's life's going to be saved.
Roger and Leslie Gillespie opened the first Baker's Delight in Melbourne on May Day 1980. They came to Adelaide in 1991 and almost overnight became a household name thanks to their quirky and memorable ads featuring bakery staff and that fantastic jingle. They now have over 700 bakeries in the group, and today they're stepping up for the TeamKids Easter Appeal. Lauren spoke to Wes Heddles to get the details.
Welcome, Wes, to the Telstra Contact Centre for the TeamKids Easter Appeal.
Thank you for having me.
Could you please tell us about Baker's Delight?
Absolutely. So Baker's Delight's been around since 1980. We've got 700 bakeries across the country, 60 here. Nearly all of them are franchise owned. So we've got local owners in the community working with communities on a daily basis. It's a phenomenal company to work for.
That's fantastic. Your ads really capture the company's great community spirit. Could you tell me more about what I guess is behind those ads?
Well, I think it comes back to who we are at our culture. So delight is in our name, being delightful behind the camera and having fun, showing our community that we're having fun and connecting with the community is really important. People can connect with our brand because we don't take ourselves too seriously. It's a bit of fun, it's exciting, and everyone, let's face it, has a fond memory when they go shopping with Baker's Delight.
So how did Baker's Delight fundraise for the TeamKids Easter Appeal?
This year we decided to do something a little bit different. So we've actually teamed up with TeamKids and working with all their corporate partners, so the likes of Westpac, Telstra, News Corp and the Women's and Children's Hospital, giving each of the employees an opportunity to participate within the fundraiser itself, where $2 of every six-pack sold will go back to the TeamKids. So we're looking to sell anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 hot cross bun six-packs, significantly increasing our donation from last year, hoping to raise somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000 for the Women's and Children's Hospital Foundation.
Wow, that is a lot of baking.
It is.
So, how long has Baker's Delight been supporting TeamKids and the Women's and Children's Hospital?
We've been involved with TeamKids and Women's and Children's Hospital since 2008. The connection that we have, the connection our franchisees have with the hospital itself is phenomenal. The support that the Women's and Children's Hospital gives to not only our franchisees' children but the wider community is so important. And as a local, baker connecting with the community, we want to ensure that we're giving back to those that are supporting us. So the TeamKids and Women's and Children's Hospital Foundation is absolutely the perfect platform for us.
I am a former patient of the Women's and Children's Hospital, and I guess it makes me really excited when Baker's Delight comes on board with projects like this, because I guess it provides hope to people in the hospital at the moment that there's someone else thinking of them. So on behalf of TeamKids and anyone who's ever had a connection with the hospital, I would just like to thank yourself and Baker's Delight for supporting us and this Easter Appeal.
Absolutely our pleasure. Thank you.
We thank Telstra for their amazing support in providing us with the contact centre to take your phone donations. Please keep it up. That tally is growing by the minute.
We're back at the Clipsal 500 track for the final race of today's TeamKids Easter Appeal Fire Truck Pull. And despite a cool shower, it's going to be a hotly contested fight between the police and the firefighters. Both teams showed their incredible determination and muscle power in the first heats, beating out the Army and the Air Force in close competitions.
Our members donate to Cops for Kids through their own pays, and this year we're giving $13,830 to the TeamKids Easter Appeal. It's an unusual amount because over the 10 years that we've been supporting the TeamKids Appeal, is that it's going to be $100,000 that we've given over that 10-year period. So it's a real milestone for us.
Hi teams, welcome to the final of the TeamKids Easter Appeal Fire Engine Pull. Both teams have seen off some great challenges to get here. And on behalf of TeamKids, a big thank you to all of the teams for their support, both in donating their time as well as their fundraising efforts for us during the year. As always, take up the slack on your ropes, and when you hear the siren, let's get started.
It's close, but it's the firefighters who cross the line first and take the honour of winning the 2017 TeamKids Easter Appeal Fire Truck Pull.
We won! No, it was great. Great event. Good work by the police. Very tight. So, yeah, we're happy to have won, but it was a fantastic event. Fantastic time. We've got a happy team, and yeah, well done to the cops and well done to the fireys.
To the winners, great fire truck pull. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well done, mate. Excellent effort. Well done, mate. Thank you very much. Well done on your win. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully, guys, we'll see you all again next year. We're here to do the same sort of thing, so we can really support the TeamKids Easter Appeal, and so we can get the general public out there to see that not only we work together in our jobs, we also work together for the community. So thank you very much. We'll see you next year.
Excellent.
See you next year.
I'm Lauren Krelsham. 2 years ago, I relapsed with leukemia. I remember reading a book, and it's about this girl in Japan who experiences the Hiroshima bomb. She got leukemia, and an old Japanese man told her that if you made 1,000 cranes, you could get one wish. So she thought she would make 1,000 cranes in order to wish herself better. So I was like, well, I've got nothing to do in hospital. I'll start making 1,000 cranes and hopefully make myself better. One of my really good friends decided to start up a little Facebook group just to say, hey, let's help Lauren out with getting to that 1,000 crane mark. However, she didn't realise of what it would become. I didn't know about it, it was a secret group, but apparently people started adding people, and then people started like hunting down celebrities, and it turned into this huge social media movement called #CrainesForLauren. Who knew I would have a hashtag? On my 21st birthday, so I was out of hospital at this point, came back home, walked up into the house, and I remember seeing 20,000 cranes in my living room, all set out in baskets, hanging off the walls, hanging off the ceiling, a big huge cake with a crane in the middle. To have that much support from not only my friends and family, but from people who didn't even know me, but obviously knew my story, was so uplifting and it's just what I needed at that point in time. And that movement ended up becoming 20,000 cranes. So I guess 20 wishes, and if you include my 1,000, that's 21. Perfect for a 21st birthday. Yes, I got my wish and I'm all better now and living my life out the way I want to.
Frank Searley is a champion of visionary innovation, a family man and humanitarian. He's dedicated his life to Australian manufacturing, but today he shares his views on why he supports TeamKids, and in particular, funding for the CAR-T research project.
Innovation is in our DNA at Searley International. It applies to everything that we do. It's a company that manufactures evaporative coolers and gas heaters. We pioneered rooftop coolers in plastic. We actually took a market which sold 12,000 coolers a year and turned it into a market which sold 70,000 coolers a year. I thought, well, I've been blessed tremendously in the business and I should put some of that back into the community. And I have to tell you, it's a lot of fun doing it.
How's your pain?
Well, I think I first became involved with the foundation in about 1999. They made an approach to me and I thought, yeah, they're doing a great job. They're doing a wonderful job. The fact that the foundation had been formed by the Women's and Children's Hospital was a great thing in and of itself, but they were operating it in a way which was very, very commendable, and therefore I was more than happy to support them. We started off in a small way, as we usually do, but as time went on we were able to do more to help them, and again we saw the benefits of it in the kids that were being helped.
Don't they look colourful?
Cancer is a pernicious thing in our society, and it is particularly so when it strikes children, and that's where our interest is, and the CAR-T program looked like a beauty, so we got involved. We consider everybody who works here as part of our family. When the company is seriously committed to giving large amounts of its profit away to charitable causes, and particularly kids' causes, then they see themselves as part of that. They're contributing to it. They understand that we are serious when we say a part of the family, and they see that the family itself is prepared to put its money where its mouth is and match whatever goes into it from them or our dealers or whoever it might be.
Hi, I'm Jessica Van Pelt and I'm in Year 12 at high school. It's a bit of a challenge, but my love of music, singing in the Australian Girls Choir and playing piano keeps me going. 12 years ago, it was the people at the Women's and Children's Hospital that kept me going. I had cancer when I was just 4.5. And that led to 2 long years of treatments and worry for me and my family. The staff at the Women's and Children's Hospital helped us so much. They inspired me to want to help people too. I was given a second chance. Now, I have a chance to give back. So please, support the TeamKids Easter Appeal.
From our childhood and into our senior years, one thing remains constant in our lives: our mums. And for generations, they have known of a safe place that cares for them and their hopes and their dreams.
The Women's and Children's Hospital stood by me.
We may not all know it right now, but sooner or later, every one of us will be close to someone who needs the care of the Women's and Children's Hospital.
They inspired me to want to help people too.
It's a place where dedicated people bring the wonder of life a step closer to the world.
They gave me hope that I had a future.
Where caring people put their patients first, come what may.
Every person there will give whatever they possibly can.
How can we ensure that this iconic hospital remains a village of hope for all South Australian mums and kids?
I was given a second chance. Now I have a chance to give back.
Who will be there to support the wonderful people who are there for us each and every day? You.